What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Cujo06241 Sports Vlog. I am Justin Crumley, and I am joined by my brother from another mother, the living legend himself, and the man with the greatest insults I've ever heard, Josh Thompson. You guys will find out in a minute what I mean by that. Without further ado, he doesn't need to introduce himself. You guys already know. As you can tell, Patriots, Lions, this is going to be fun. Let's start off on a bad note, because that's what we always like to do. Maryland beat Michigan 23-16. I'm just going to say it, guys. Michigan sucks, and we are not playing in a bowl game this year.
There ain't much else to say about it.
Because there is no way in fuck they're going to beat Ohio State this Saturday. I hate to sound like I'm giving up on these guys, but, guys, there's no reason for me to believe they're going to beat Ohio State.
No, not after the main manhandled. They manhandled MSU, and MSU manhandled us.
Yeah,
I'm horrified.
I just don't see it.
Game
so
could end up being.
There you go. That's a game preview. Michigan's probably going to get their asses kicked.
And Brady Hoke should be fired on the
Yes.
spot that day.
Right after that game. You can't. It's like Rex Ryan. You know he's going to get fired. You just don't know when or how.
He should.
But he
Brady
should.
Hoke should be out of Michigan's administration less than a week after this game is over.
Yep, I agree.
They need to start. They need to start this process as soon as possible.
He has completely turned the program into a laughing stock.
Everything after Lloyd Carr has been a laughing stock.
Yep. All right, LeGarrette Blount is released by the Pittsburgh Steelers for leaving the game against Tennessee because they weren't using him.
What a bitch.
Yeah, that is a bit of a bitch move, but, I mean, I've kind of thought about it. I'm not going easy on him because he's a Pat now, but I'm thinking, like, there might have been something going on, and I think he did it deliberately to get released. I really do. I think he just didn't want to be with the Steelers anymore.
That's probably a fair assumption. I would almost assume the same thing.
But, I mean, there is a way to get out of something like that, and leaving the field in the middle of a game is a little classless.
Yeah, that's not a grown man move.
In my opinion.
That's not a grown man move.
We'll get to more dirty tactics in a minute involving the Patriots and Lions. Let's start with a little recap. You want to read off the score for me?
No.
All right, I'll do it then. New England destroyed Detroit 34-9. Lions defense, I mean, I don't want to say the Lions defense was bad because they really weren't. They did what they could. This game could have been a lot worse than what it was. They did pick Brady off once, so it's not like Detroit's defense was not there. New England's offense was just too explosive.
Detroit's defense is tired. They're getting
tired.
Their back probably hurts from carrying these last couple weeks.
The offense, again, continued to struggle.
It's the second week in a row without a touchdown.
Not doing good at all. And, I mean, there was some drop passes from, I think it was Fourier had a catch in the end zone.
Calvin dropped a couple.
I mean, New England's defense, I don't want to ride on them because I'm a Pats fan, but New England's defense really did show up in this game.
New England's defense did what every other defense can do. Made the Lions not look good.
Yeah, made the Lions offense look like even bigger shit.
I hate to say it. I kind of figured the Lions weren't going to score. I assumed that the defense was going to play better, but I'm assuming that this was just Lions being fucking worn out versus a good team. That's what happens when you just isn't enough.
I mean, I know I'm a Pats fan, but I do want to see the Lions do good. They are my home team, and I want to see them do good. I just, you know what? I'm not gonna shy away from the truth. The Lions need to really make some adjustments, and it's obvious now they can't hang with the big teams in the league. They really can't. They beat up on the weaker teams, and they could barely do that. I mean, they had to come from behind to beat New Orleans and Miami. Two teams that aren't bad. Well, New Orleans is bad, but Miami's not terrible.
No, Miami's pretty decent.
But, I mean, with the team like the Lions, who have the #1 defense in the league, I think they still do. I don't know if they...
#1.
Yeah, #1. Let's quote.
It's rough. The 2 weeks they played decent teams. They played well against Arizona.
They did. They played better.
They got exposed.
Yeah, they got exposed, and then New England went
which makes me afraid. It makes me afraid for them to play someone like Denver. Let's face it. They can't handle the big teams.
No, let's face it. When they go to Lambeau in Week 17, they're probably going to get destroyed unless Matt Flynn plays.
Dude,
and even then,
that's exactly what I was thinking about. I hate to say it, but if the Lions offense doesn't pick up somewhere, sometime,
They're
and
fucked.
they don't replace their center because they need to.
They need to really bad.
Beyond just because he sucks in general.
Yeah.
If they don't do that, if they don't make specific changes to this team, there will never, ever, ever be a chance for them to ever go to the Super Bowl.
No.
Not even close. They're not close.
No.
Not even close at this point. And it's terrible because New England proved it. They chewed us up.
Yeah.
And even though New England's defense is good, we need to be able to score on good defenses.
You need to be able to score, yeah. That's why I think if the Lions go to the playoffs, they're one and done. They'll go to the playoffs first round and get knocked out.
They better play a team that has another terrible offense.
Yeah, like Atlanta or something.
Somebody. If they play Arizona again, they might win. Because Arizona can't score.
Yeah,
but
they
if they
can't.
play
Yeah,
anybody that has a good offense, they're in trouble.
If the Lions play Arizona in Arizona and they do the same shit they did the last time they played, Detroit's gonna they're gonna lose again. It's
Detroit's offense at this point
it's
can
almost
play
non-existent.
almost any team and won't score.
Yep, they could play a high school team and they'd have a hard time.
I don't know. I have no clue what has happened. But Matthew Stafford can't make the throws he used to.
Yeah.
Calvin Johnson, he's good, but his hands aren't as reliable.
You can tell he's starting to kind of...
Players get forgotten when the score...
Yeah.
When Matthew Stafford gets down, players get forgotten. I'm sorry, but Golden Tate and Calvin had almost half the targets, just them two, by themselves. Yeah. And the worst part was, and this is how you can tell that Matthew Stafford is not doing well, 22 what's it called? Targets. 22 targets between the two of them. 8 catches. 8 catches on 22 targets between our two best receivers. And one of them's supposed to be the best in the league. There is something wrong with this offense, and they need to figure out what it is, or they won't win games.
No.
They're not going to win this game on Thanksgiving if they can't
Chicago.
score.
Yeah, you got to be able to score. Football is two sides.
Because I'm sorry, I don't care. At this point right now, Jay Cutler could score 3 points and might win that game, and it pisses me off. But that's how terrible the Lions' offense has been.
Well, I got about 1,000 jokes when we get to that, but I just want to point out before we move on, 14 years ago, November 23rd, 2001, Tom Brady took his first snap against the Detroit Lions, and ironically enough, Detroit blew them out 34-9. Isn't that amazing? And now Brady returns the favor. Yeah, the ghost of Tom Brady. Well, whatever. But Tom Brady, I mean, there really is no shame for the Lions. Not too much to lose to a team like New England, because New England is number one in the AFC.
New England,
number one in the NFL right now.
If New England keeps playing like they are right now,
they're probably going to be your Super Bowl winners.
Oh, fuck yeah. At this point, if they play to their potential each week till the end of the season, they could win out the whole season.
Oh, yeah.
They are by far the best team in the league when they come out and play.
Yep. Yeah,
but that's why every game is played, though. So we'll see.
Games are played. They got a tough one coming up. We'll get to that. All right, here's what we've all been waiting for. This is where this guy goes off. Dominic Raiola, that motherfucker, took a cheap shot at New England rookie defensive tackle Zach Moore for running up the score. And I'm not just talking about the clip. If you guys watch some of the shit after the Lions got the ball back after New England made it 34-9, he punches Zach Moore in the back of the head, and he shoves him after a whistle. I mean, Raiola was basically trying to pick a fight, you know, and then he purposely came out and was like, "Yeah, I did it on purpose. They shouldn't have ran up the score." Fucking, what a buffoon, first of all. What a fucking idiot. Like,
it's probably all wrong.
I don't care.
I just noticed, though.
I don't care. The guy's a dick. I mean, he's a fucking asshole, and I don't care what anyone says. That was not right. You don't take cheap shots because you're pissed off because you got manhandled by a better team. Maybe if you fucking blocked, it wouldn't have been that way. Because Raiola sucks as a player and as a person, obviously, because he's a fucking asshole. And the fact that he came out and said that he did it on purpose makes me hate him even more.
Well, I mean, if you want to look at this move was made by a 15-year veteran.
Yeah.
15-year veteran
that's
been around for
disgusting.
The worst parts of this team. You would think this man was like, damn, like, we fucking sucked. We looked like shit. We were a good
Yeah.
squad. Everyone thought we were garbage.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you want to fucking go away from that shit? And
Yeah,
then you want to
that's-
act like you're a... I have
fucking-
seen high school players act more fucking mature
Yeah.
than that. That is literally some bitch-ass little motherfucker that wants to be a hard-ass to some rookie because he can't handle no one bigger than him.
Well, let's face it. If he did that to Vince Wilfork would have beat his
He would have
ass.
choked his ass out on the fucking football field.
Yeah, and no one, you know what? Like I said, no one would give a fuck. Cause even his own, I don't even think Rayola's teammates like him. He's a douche.
He, honestly, they, as a Lions organization, has handled this completely wrong.
Yeah, they're not gonna punish
It
him
makes
at
me
all.
sick that he's not even going to get punished.
It's fucking
And-
stupid.
As the GM for the Lions should have had this guy
Yeah,
packing his bags and going home on a separate plane
yeah.
because he shouldn't be welcome on the facility no more.
No.
This right here is what gives Detroit a bad name.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that reflects on the team.
And it reflects on the
team.
city.
And it reflects on the city because I saw comments on Facebook talking about, and I really hated to see this. You know, people from New England saying about and other places like Oregon, Washington, wherever,
Everyone that
around,
is in Detroit.
yeah, talk about what thugs we are as a city, and it's like, way to go, Rayola. I hope you're fucking proud of yourself.
It's one of those things
you made
where-
us look like shit. Granted, not all of us are fucking thugs like that, but Rayola sure makes it hard to argue. And if you go back, Sue had the reputation for being a dirty asshole, even though Sue has cleaned up his act
You know
over
what,
the
though?
years.
And it sucks. From
And-
a person that's from Detroit,
Yeah.
this move right here has destroyed all the work that we have put in the last
Yeah.
5 years as a city.
Oh yeah. I mean.
Our companies are bringing themselves back.
Yeah.
We as people are trying to build back this city. It was a beautiful city back in the day. And a lot of the reputation for Detroit teams has gone up. And up until this point right here, the Detroit Lions were on an up streak. Yeah, they were struggling these last 2 weeks. But as a team and as a whole and as a symbol for Detroit defending the Den, they were doing extremely well at taking this team and raising a city on their back. They were
Yeah.
doing what New Orleans did after Katrina.
Yeah.
Not to the same degree, obviously
not. No.
but the
they-
concept is the same.
you know, yeah.
They
yeah.
were fixing an image to create a better image for Detroit.
Yep.
And this
And
play
now-
right here by some asshole that wants to cry because he can't play football, so he has to attack people after plays
And,
are over,
like-
has literally ruined and destroyed the reputation that we were trying to build. You're a bitch ass motherfucker, and you don't deserve to be on the team anymore.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out. Move somewhere else. You
Yeah,
don't
no
deserve to
kidding.
be on our
Okay,
squad.
Okay. Something else I want to point out. Rayola's going to bitch that New England ran up the score. If I remember correctly, Gostowski kicked a field goal to make it 30-7, and Detroit's nose tackle headbutted New England's center. They set that up. They gave him the 15 yards at the 2-yard line. It's like, you know what? I'd give it to LeGarrette Blount, too. Have him run it in.
that's the thing
It's
that sucks.
football.
That's the thing that sucks.
It's fucking football.
You fucked up as a football team. Half of being a good football team is keeping yourself from making bad mistakes.
I
And you
agree.
know what? They were down. The game was out of hand, and
they were gonna
they
lose.
fucked up.
Yeah, it was
And
over.
you know what? New England had all rights to run that ball.
Yeah.
I would have ran it too. It was on the 2-yard line.
Well, you do
Why
that
the
in Madden.
fuck wouldn't you? Why the fuck wouldn't you
yeah,
run
why
the
not?
ball?
You're at the 2-yard line. Why kneel it 3 times? Fuck that. Let's face it, Rayola would have did something anyway. The guy is a fucking asshole. He would have did something anyway.
He is the epitome of terribleness that was trying to be purged out of the Detroit team after 2007.
After Jim
he
Schwartz left.
should have never had a freaking job.
No.
He should have been gone. He is garbage. He needs to be moved out of this city, out of our team.
Yeah.
He is the epitome
He's
of
fucking
absolute
asshole.
trash. You
He's
are
a-
scum
yeah.
on the boot of on my foot, bitch. Need to leave.
Yeah, Dominic Raiola is supposed to be one of the offensive veterans. Well, here's what I have to say to that.
Well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants. I got news for you, pal. You ain't leading but 2 things right now. Jack and shit. And Jack left town.
That's the God honest truth. Jack and shit. Jack left town an hour ago, and shit's following him in probably a week. I also want to call out some people that are actually defending him. Because, for the most part, a lot of Lions fans are pissed. They hate this fucking guy now. A lot of people on Facebook and Twitter were Lions fans. You know, I've seen them. They were like, fucking Raiola, that was a cheap move. We're trying to clean up our image, and you're making it shitty. we're not the only ones that disagree with this. I would say about 85 to 90%, maybe even more than that, disagree with Raiola. But you do have those few that are saying, no, I applaud him. He has heart.
And if
he has passion.
And if you see those people,
how do you
just give them a grain of salt, because those are the ignorant fuckers that are not worth your time.
Well,
there is a lot of amazing things and people in Detroit, and they're not the people that
I showed him some comments on Facebook, too. This is legit. We're not bullshitting. I want to know what the fuck that's supposed to mean. Passion. He tried to take out a guy, a rookie defensive tackle, and he openly admitted it was on purpose. How is that passion? How is that the heart to win?
And you know what? I feel like the worst part of that is that he attacked the rookie. This guy could have 15 good years, maybe, on the best case scenario, have 15 good years in the league. What would have happened if this kid actually would have blew out his knee and maybe never touched the field again? If I was Zach Moore and that happened to me, Dominic Raiola wouldn't live another day in his life. I swear to God, it'd be the end of it. Because that is terrible. You want to ruin a kid's life? I can't reiterate how many times I feel like this dude has won the image of Detroit, and is a complete bitch and doesn't deserve to touch a football field. He gets paid millions of dollars to act like a little fucking girl, and that drives me nuts. And that's what's wrong with the organization that Detroit has right now.
It's just fucked up. I mean, now I want to point out, I want to make some jokes. I want to show some of these good people that are watching some pictures I found. This is a comment I found on Facebook because Jim Caldwell talked to Raiola about this in private. I really hope it was him scolding Raiola.
Yeah, before you go on to that clip, though, shame on Detroit for not even fucking finding
the NFL is going to do something. There's no way in fuck. Goodell is so fine happy. He's not going to let that go.
He better not. It'd be the one time. I swear to God, if he lets this fine go,
I'll be pissed. I will be so fucking pissed. I already don't like Roger Goodell. The last thing needs to happen is he needs to let this go. Fuck that shit. He should be fined and possibly suspended. But okay, yeah, let's show the comment. This is a picture I found.
Kind of the epitome of Detroit right now.
It kind of is. And last thing I want to say about Dominic Raiola. Dominic, this one's for you. Alright guys, let's move on. We are done ranting about Dominic Raiola. Bitch. Let's move on to this Thursday, which is the Turkey Day game. One of them. One of three.
Love Thanksgiving.
I know, I do too. Detroit, Chicago. Detroit is home. I think we can do this if we just wake up on offense and, score a couple of touchdowns. Because Chicago's a shit team. I'm not going to deny it. I think they can definitely win this game.
Yeah, Detroit can finally break the tradition of having to go home and cry over their turkey dinner after every game. I would really love to win this game.
Yeah,
and
like
it's so nice
I watched an episode of Family Guy last night, and Brian said that to a couple of lines. He was like, "Come on, guys, it's Thanksgiving. Shouldn't you be losing a football game?" I mean, they destroyed Green Bay last year. That was kind of cool to watch.
I just hope they.
I hate Chicago.
They need to turn themselves around. If they can turn themselves around, this would be the game.
I don't like the Bears at all. I'm not a Bears fan. I hate Jay Cutler. I think he's an overrated fucking asshole that just cries about everything. So Detroit can definitely win this game if they just hop off the fucking let's have our defense carry us through the game shit.
Well, they need this offense needs to carry this defense one game.
Yeah.
Oh, this defense is going to have all gray hair and be fucking having strokes by the end of the season.
Yeah.
They are through so much stress. I can't even get over the fact that Detroit's defense has played so well up until this point.
Yeah.
That 34 points by New England makes us sick to our stomachs.
Yeah.
That right there is a main point that you should be proud of what we have. And we need an offense to complement that.
Yeah, it's true.
But as long as Detroit can score, I could see Detroit winning this game with 7.
Oh, I absolutely do. I mean, Cutler and the Bears are total crap.
Terrible.
So this could be an easy win, or it could be a complete disaster. It could
God.
happen. Let's hope it doesn't. I want to see the Lions win this one.
Okay, this game will be either the start of our collapse or the start of us fixing our problems.
Yeah, that's really what it comes down to.
And you'll know by halftime
What's gonna
season,
happen.
what kind of season we'll have for the rest of this year. So I have my fingers crossed.
There's really only one more game I see them losing, and that's Green Bay in Week 17, Lambeau. Speaking of Green Bay and Lambeau, Lions fans that are hating on the Patriots, you guys are going to be Patriots fans on Sunday because they're playing Green Bay. And if you want the Lions to recapture the lead in the NFC North, New England has to win this game. So, suck it up and go for the better good. If you really hate New England that much, look at it this way: the lesser of two evils. Because I don't think there's many
have to deal with.
Yeah, I don't think there's many Lions fans that like the Packers. So, what New England I think they have to do to win this game. Well, why don't you go over it first? I mean, this is probably going to be our first. Huh?
Which one are we going over?
New England, Green Bay. This is a legitimate game preview. This isn't just us ranting.
Well, this game for win to be won by New England, they need to slow down Aaron Rodgers.
Absolutely.
I hate to say this because I think Tom Brady is probably the best QB to ever grace the field of football.
It's tough to argue.
I don't think Tom Brady can keep up with Aaron Rodgers right now.
I don't think so either, honestly.
So New England's defense is going to have to come out and play good football, and Tom Brady and them could win.
Oh, absolutely.
It's definitely a game that is up in the air because it's going to be. If New England can't stop Aaron Rodgers, it's going to be a shootout, and I just don't see Tom Brady winning.
I don't know if it's hard to go against Aaron Rodgers, but it's hard to go against Tom Brady. I think after
are they at Lambeau?
Yeah, they're in Lambeau. That's why it's going to be a much better game than.
It's going to be cold.
It is. Both teams are used to that though, so that's.
But I know that plays in New England's favor. They got a big boy running this ball with Garrett Blount.
Yeah, they do. They got Gray and Blount.
That could be a
and Blount ran for a
bad problem.
Yeah, and Green Bay's run defense sucks.
He ran for 78 yards against Detroit.
Yeah,
which is actually pretty good, and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, he was 12 for 78.
He could break open a game.
And Green Bay has a crap run defense. They really do. I mean, Clay Matthews has really stepped up in the last.
Green Bay better step up.
Clay Matthews has been playing pretty well for the Packers, but their run and Julius Peppers has really stepped up too.
Julius Peppers, God, he's a beast.
I know. I mean, Green Bay has a good team, but to me, after what I saw in Minnesota, they struggled against Minnesota. A rookie quarterback, Teddy Bridgewater, played a pretty decent game against them. I was like, wow, Minnesota could do this, huh? I'm not saying that New England's going to win because of that. I'm saying Green Bay is obviously beatable, and all that bullshit about Aaron Rodgers putting up 50-plus points
each
game for the rest of the season. Bullshit. No, that was never going to happen. I didn't expect it to stop at Minnesota. I really expected it to stop at New England. I think if New England's going to win this game, they're going to have to, slow Aaron Rodgers down and rely on that run game.
Yep, they're going to have to play possession ball.
They are. They really are. That's how they're going to win this game. I think they can do it. It's at 4:25. It's on CBS in this area. I am definitely going to check that out. I'm glad I don't have to stream it. I have been pretty lucky this year. I've only had to stream 2 Pats games this whole season. All right, we're going to move on to baseball. Tigers claim relief pitcher Josh Zeid, I think that's how you say it, from the Houston Astros. So, yeah. Not too great of a pitcher. He had like a 5.61 ERA or something. But Brad Ausmus knows him really well, so hopefully that plays into our hand. And they designated Ezekiel Carrera for assignment. I don't think he got picked up by anybody. I don't think he got claimed because I haven't heard anything. And apparently the Tigers are also in trade talks with the Astros for a catcher. Houston could move Jason Castro, whose numbers really weren't that great. In 126 games, he had a .222 average, 14 home runs, and 56 RBIs. Not terrible. Definitely a slight upgrade to Alex Avila's batting skills, but nothing significant. They could also move Carlos Corporan, I think I'm saying that right. I don't have any numbers for you. And Hank Conger, but the Tigers aren't looking at Hank Conger. I guess he's just not that good. So that's cool. I'm not an Alex Avila hater. I like Avila. I think he's a good defensive catcher. But when he's at the plate, unless it's like the bottom of the ninth and there's 2 outs, you can't rely on the guy to hit a fucking ball. It's irritating. He strikes out half the fucking... It's gotten so bad. Me and Vinny call him Alex Strikeout Avila because he just can't fucking hit very well.
He's the new Brandon Inge, man.
He kind of is.
The Tigers always have one. He's the new one.
Yeah, it's fucking horrendous. But like I said, I don't hate Alex Avila. I just think he needs to perk his bat because we're probably never going to see 2011 Avila ever again. So I'm not counting on that. But I do want to see Avila at least get better at the plate. But if the Tigers think that trading him is the best option, I'm not going to argue with that because, like I said last week, they picked up his option, but I still think they should trade him and see if they can get an upgrade. I've also heard that they may trade Porcello or David Price, one of the two.
I don't want either of them to go.
I really don't either, but I've heard like the Red Sox may give us like Yoenis Cespedes. I've heard, I don't know if this is true, Yoenis Cespedes. That would be huge. A left fielder with a lot of pop in his bat, the home run king the past 2 years. It would be huge.
That still makes me uncomfortable.
But
again,
a
second starter.
I don't want to have to give up Rick Porcello. I mean, at first I heard about it, I was like, yeah, go ahead, go. Now that I'm thinking about it, I've kind of let it sit with me. I'm like, you know what? Maybe that wouldn't be the best thing. I mean, I know you wanna like have something to fall back on because Porcello and David Price are both gonna be free agents, and it's you don't want to get in the Max Scherzer situation. You don't want to have one of them leave or both of them go and get stuck with nothing.
I have a hard time believing that'll happen, though.
I don't. Yeah, I can't see Porcello going. Oh, I'm looking for a Clayton Kershaw deal, because he hasn't earned that thing yet. That's a huge thing for anybody. Clayton Kershaw.
I don't see anybody on Detroit ever earning that deal.
As long as Scott Boras and his client, we can keep Porcello. But if Scott Boras is Porcello's agent, I would say fucking trade him because there's no way you're keeping him at that point. Because Scott Boras is fucking stingy about his players because he wants top dollar, so he makes them test the market.
It's all about the money.
Yeah, well, that's what it is when you're a sports agent. So
yeah, because you make a cut.
I don't really
so
care.
So they want the bigger the deal, the bigger their cut.
Yeah, I don't really care for Scott Boras much, to be honest. I think his comments about the Mets like last year I found a bit offensive. I don't remember what they are, but a lot of Mets fans were pissed. I think if you're a sports agent, the last thing you need to do is go and insult a potential client, or a potential team that will want a client.
If anything, that fucks over your clients. You shouldn't.
Yeah. I mean, you could, and yourself, because you could be getting top dollar from that team. The Mets are a team that need a lot of help, and for him to insult them the way he did, it's just fucking horrendous. It was like, dude, really? Are you kidding?
It's shitty.
It's shitty. It is shitty. Let's move on to hockey. Detroit smashes Columbus 5-0. We watched that game together. Excellent power play performance. They really did good on the power play. But Jimmy Howard stole the show. He had a shutout, a spectacular performance. That was probably the best game he has played all season, and I stand by that because
he plays pretty good hockey.
He's played really good this season. A lot better than last year. Last year he was inconsistent, and he admitted it. So over the offseason, he did some training. I don't know exactly what he did, but whatever he did, he needs to keep doing it because it is working. Detroit is in a good spot right now. They're 11-5-5. And, I mean, I haven't checked the standings.
Well, that's 27 points. That's not bad.
That's really good.
Games.
That is really good. That is extremely good. They beat Winnipeg, as I call them, Weenie-peg. They were down 3-2. Was it 3? Yeah, 3-2. They were down 2-0. They tied it up. Tatar and Franzen, and then it was 3-2. And then Advocator got the game-tying goal, and then Tatar scored his second of the night. Detroit wins this one 4-3. Really great game. I
watched half of that.
Yeah, you watched half of that one too.
Yeah, because I saw the Sauce score.
Yeah, the Sauce Tatar. Yep. And then I watched them play probably one of the worst games they've played since Montreal. They lost 4-1 to Toronto. They were terrible on the power play. They couldn't exert any pressure. I don't know if you watched.
No, I didn't see that one.
You didn't miss much. They were terrible on the power play. They couldn't exert any pressure. Toronto even got a fucking shorthanded goal because Nyquist passed it to Kronwall. Kronwall bounced the fucking puck, and Bozak took it for a breakaway goal. Nyquist fucked up a couple times in this game. That's really rare because Nyquist is like one of my favorite players. You know, I love me some Nyquist, but I mean, I'm not gonna deny it. He fucked up really bad. And Detroit got pounded 4-1. Jimmy Howard, I don't blame him at all. He only let in 3. But when you're not exerting pressure and you're not keeping the puck out of your zone, it's hard for your goalie. You got to make life easy for your goalie. That is why Detroit lost to Toronto as bad as they did. Brendan Smith gets in a fight with Nick Foligno on Columbus. This is the first fighting major for the Red Wings all season. I was so happy to see our Red Wings fighting again. I was so happy to see it.
Too bad it wasn't such a great fight from Brendan, though.
It wasn't an ass kicking for Brendan. Either way, I mean, it was pretty two-sided.
Either way, though, he hit him hard enough to give his hand an infection.
Yeah, he got a hand infection. He's out.
He hit him hard. He must have hit him really hard.
But at least Xavier Ouellet is working for the Wings. He's keeping the puck in the zone. I'm surprised this kid didn't make the roster. When you got guys like Jakob Kindl who aren't doing all that good, I mean, I know he has 2 goals. What's he done since? Kyle Quincy's been doing pretty good. Again, no goals, but he keeps the puck in the zone. I said it last week. Kyle Quincy, so far, is making me look stupid. Brendan Smith, not to pick on Brendan Smith, but I haven't seen much out of him besides the fight. So I think he's I don't care. I like Xavier Ouellet. I'm just saying, the Red Wings and Jakob Kindl is probably going to end up getting traded. So, yeah. Andre Nestersil claimed off the waivers by the Carolina Hurricanes. A lot of people were pretty upset when this happened. But you know what? Hey, Nestersil, I love the kid. He was a good-sized forward.
But we got Weiss.
But we wasn't. We had Weiss last year. But Nestersil wasn't producing much. I mean, he had some good plays.
Well,
but
we brought him. We got rid of him so we could put Weiss on the
roster.
Yeah,
we waived him to put Weiss on the roster, and Weiss made the most of it last night. I forgot to get to this when I was recapping the Red Wings. They beat Ottawa 4-3. Stephen Weiss, I want to call him out because not on a bad note. I want to congratulate this guy, Stephen Weiss. If you see this by some awesome miracle, keep doing what you're doing because that was fucking awesome. He had 2 goals last night, and everybody that was bitching about Nestersil being waived can now shut the fuck up for now because Stephen Weiss made you look stupid. All right, Daniel Alfredsson is not returning to the Red Wings. Pretty much been said. His back is just bugging him. He's going to retire. You know what, though? It is what it is. It's not that I didn't want Alfredsson back. I did. I really did. But I don't want him to play if he's not at 100%.
Hell yeah.
If he's really having back issues that bad, there's no reason to bring him in. Because you have a lot of promising forwards in Grand Rapids. Anthony Mantha, Mitch Callahan, Landon Ferraro, Teemu Pulkkinen.
Well, it gives those young guys playing time.
Yeah, we got some young guys coming in. You know, we got Thomas Jurko, Thomas Tatar, Gustav Nyquist. I mean, we have good, young, promising forwards. And, I mean, Daniel Alfredsson, I would have loved to have had him back. He's a right-handed shooter. That's something the Wings lack besides Luke Glendening. So I would have welcomed him back with open arms. But if he's really having back issues, he's not going to be much use to us. I'm sorry. I really am. It sucks that we're not going to see Alfie back. Definitely, in my opinion, probably going to be a Hall of Famer. He was a big name in Ottawa and possibly a Hall of Famer. He took them to their first Stanley Cup finals in their team history. So, yeah. All right, before we move on to basketball, this is a question I want to put to you guys, to Red Wings fans. I know it's a little early to talk about this, but who do you think the Red Wings should go after before the trade deadline? Do you want a defenseman, another forward, maybe a goalie? I don't know why you would. We got Howard and Mrazek right now, and they're both doing just fine. I took it to Twitter. I asked a lot of my friends, and my friend Emma Lee, who was on the show a couple weeks ago, at MyLime78, tweeted, and I quote, Christian Aronoff is my pickup, just saying would fit in okay with the team, unquote. Not a bad pick, but it's not going to happen. This guy was bought out by Buffalo, and he was seeking like a 5-year deal from a team. The Red Wings came pretty damn close to signing him, but he opted out and went to Pittsburgh for 1 year, $4 million. So the Red Wings shouldn't even bother with him because what's the point? He'd just be a rental. It'd be pointless. And I seriously doubt Pittsburgh's going to be a seller come trade deadline. I think the Red Wings should go after a defenseman. There are 3 guys I want them to go after. One of 3. Tyler Myers, who they've been linked to all season. Good right-handed shooting defenseman, good size guy. Not really a guy that'll hit anybody, but he can shoot, he can score. He shoots right-handed. The problem is Buffalo's going to want pretty big for this guy. They asked for Anthony Mantha, didn't get him. Thank God, that would have been a really bad move. They even asked for Dylan Larkin, who's the Red Wings draft pick in the first round last year. Again, didn't happen. I condemn Ken Holland for that. There was no reason to trade away your top prospects, but if they are to get rid of like a draft pick and maybe a couple of prospects, I'd be okay with that as long as it's not a guy who is, as long as it's not like Mantha, Dylan Larkin, or like Mitch Callahan. I like Mitch Callahan. I don't know how well he's doing in Grand Rapids, but as long as it's not a guy who we may have to call upon should something happen later in the year, I'm okay with it. I would definitely want Tyler Myers on the team. The other guy, Mike Green from Washington. Washington is looking to get rid of him because they signed Brooks Orpik and Matt Niskanen to huge deals. That tells you what their plans are for Mike Green, who is a free agent at the end of the season. They're probably going to try and trade him. And I think the Red Wings could jump in on this. You can get him for relatively cheaper, too, than Tyler Myers. But he's my second option for one reason alone. He's a free agent at the end of the season. I don't really like getting a rental, per se. But if they can't get Tyler Myers, this is the next best option. Mike Green can quarterback a power play. He shoots right-handed. I can't stress that enough. He's a good offensive defenseman. He's just an all-around good player. I think the Red Wings should go after him should they fail at going after Tyler Myers. And the third guy I want to get is another guy that the Wings have been linked to, Arizona's Keith Yandle. I've heard that there's potentially a trade there. I don't know for sure. I don't know how things are going in Arizona. So, I don't know. But Keith Yandle, from what I've heard, really solid defenseman. He shoots left-handed, unfortunately, but that's okay. I think that would be a good third option for the Red Wings. They've been linked to him since like last year, too. There's been talk that the Wings are going to deal for him. I don't know what Arizona's looking for. So that's the question I want to put to you guys. Who do you think the Red Wings should pursue before the trade deadline? Let me know in the comments section. Thank you for watching.
Don't be so long-winded.
Yeah, because we're doing a good job of that already. All right, basketball. More bad news. Pistons still suck. I mean, they did fight against the Phoenix Suns. They put up a good fight, but they lost 88-86. They were getting beat by Atlanta pretty well, and they mounted a comeback, but they ended up losing 99-89. Long story short, something's got to give. They just got to start making adjustments. They got to start winning games.
I don't know what it is. They have a couple good players that should be able to carry a squad. I don't understand.
The guys are underperforming, like Andre Drummond.
Yeah,
Josh
he
Smith,
is. He really is.
They're both underperforming.
Yeah,
so.
they are playing really rough.
Right.
It is. I don't understand. It's bad because we have the talent.
Yeah.
To be decent, at least decent.
Absolutely.
It's one of those things. It's a Detroit thing, I guess.
Now, let's end on a good note. Michigan basketball. They fought against Detroit Mercy. Pretty damn good game Detroit put up, but Michigan ended up winning 71-62. was really happy to see this, but it was funny because it was Michigan versus Detroit. And I was like, come on, Michigan. And it's like, I'm rooting against Detroit, but I'm rooting for Michigan. What the hell?
I think Detroit might be a sleeper for the tournament this year.
Yeah. Well, Detroit's always had a good basketball program, but they've kind of fallen off because they're not like
they're
up
not
there.
bigger.
They're not bigger. Yeah, they're not.
I'm telling you, the size of the University of Detroit. If you
doesn't tell the whole story.
Well, I mean, yeah. If you go to like, I'm trying to think of a good university to compare to that everyone would know.
Duke.
Well, I mean, I was talking about size. Like the size of the school, it's tiny.
Yeah.
It's almost it's a community college by size almost.
Yeah,
it's not
it
very
is.
huge.
No, but they do have a good basketball program.
Well, it's because they can pull right out of Detroit. It's
yeah.
nice.
Duh.
They can get these kids that deserve them scholarships.
Yeah.
It's nice. That's what I like.
That's what I do like. They gave Michigan a fight, so it was kind of good to see from both ways. But I'm really glad Michigan was able to pull that one off.
Sleeper for the they
yeah,
both could be tournament teams.
Oh, Michigan definitely. They're number 13 now.
Aren't they undefeated still?
Yeah, they won last night. They beat Oregon in Brooklyn.
Yeah, they played good there.
They won 70-63. They beat Oregon. They played in Brooklyn. They beat Oregon. I've said that a million times now. I'm gonna stop saying it again. They won 70-63. I didn't watch the game. I was too busy watching the Red Wings and the Senators game, and it was pretty damn good. I was like, cool, they're winning. This is awesome. Good shit.
Might have a new team to root for basketball in Michigan.
Yeah,
all those bandwagon Sparty fans are gonna be Michigan fans soon.
Yeah, they'll give them a taste of their own fucking medicine because they tried doing that when football season's coming up. Oh, root for Sparty, and then when you do it, they start calling you bandwagoners. So, not all of them, but the majority.
I've had that zone isn't too much of a great zone anymore.
Yeah, no,
it's kind of nice to say that.
Yeah, it's been a long time, but this is finally over. Not much else to say. Have a great Thanksgiving, guys. For Josh, the living legend Thompson, I am Justin Crumley. This is Cujo06241, signing out.